Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today's news headline is every word Mikel Arteta said on Luiz's appeal, Matt Ryan's fitness, Tierney's injury, and Aston Villa. So the first talking point is Luiz's appeal. So Mikel Arteta was asked about an update based on David Luiz's appeal and how hopeful it was. He replied stating that he was very hopeful and that he put the appeal up because he discussed with his team that we went through all the images and he thinks that the red card should be overruled, and that's why we put the appeal. Also, he was asked about was it better that David Luiz was taking out the Wolves player on Tuesday night, and he was asked about the law's not right, is it? And he said he knows the law, and for him it's more about the decision and what happens in that instance. He said there was a very similar incident, even though David is behind him, against United it was, on the side of the player that completely changes the angle of the purpose and how much it affects the player's ability to finish the action, but still a similar situation. I think they will look at it. In terms of another question he was asked about Luiz was David keeps getting himself in these situations, is that something he needs to work on? Well, he stated responding with, well, if you look at the two images, we can have a long debate here. So just put it on the finger on David, in my opinion, is not fair. So the next talking point is regarding Matt Ryan, and he was asked about an update on whether he was able to train, and if he's not available, what is your confidence in Alex to cover? So he said that he's not been available to train yet, and he thinks that Alex is still available, so we'll have to make a choice for the weekend. And he said, would there be a choice even though Matt hasn't trained? Well, he said yes. If Matt is able to train and they are both fit, then we have a decision to make. If Matt not isn't fit, then obviously Alex Runnison will be in goal. So the next thing regarding Matt Ryan was, how sorry would you feel for Matt Ryan if he's unable to play on Saturday? And he said this is football and these things happen. That's why we allowed Matt Mesut to go. We knew that we had to get somebody else in because things can happen. Unfortunately, when you less need them, actually they happen. So we are more protected now having Matt in the squad, and let's see if he's fit. For now, Alex is fit as well. So this is the latest regarding Matt Ryan, and it looks like maybe there's a possibility he could play against Aston Villa, or it could mean that Alex Runnison may be the keeper for that game. The third thing we're going to talk about is Kieran Tierney, and the question he was asked about was, because of Kieran Tierney's previous injuries, are you having to manage him differently to how you would if it were another player coming back? And he stated saying, no, it's a different injury in this case. Kieran is a player that really pushes himself, and he has been able to perform physically at his best because he cannot hold himself. Even in training, he cannot hold himself. We are trying to manage him in the best way possible and find every possibility to give him the best chance to be as fit as soon as possible. And we are here to support him as much as we can. And given that you're managing him, do you have any concerns with the Scotland games coming up in a few weeks' time that he might end up having to play 90 minutes a few times? No, he stated, what I want is that he's fit to play for us as soon as possible. Then if he's fit and he needs to represent his country, there we go. It's one of his dreams and he needs to fulfill that. But what I want is that as quick as possible he's fit to play for Arsenal. So this is the latest regarding Kieran Tierney and his latest injury. The final thing we're going to talk about is the game against Aston Villa, and he was asked about how difficult is it for the players to put a game like Tuesday behind them to prepare for Aston Villa, and he responded saying that he doesn't know how hard it is for everybody, but we have to move on. We have a big game on Saturday and we need to go again. There are things to learn from the game, things we cannot control obviously, and a lot of positives to take there. Just move on, go for the next one and keep the momentum going. And he's asked about Aston Villa's performance against West Ham, and he's here not to judge the performance. They've been fantastic throughout the season. They beat some top teams. They've been in a really strong run, and they beat us when we played here at home. So we have to make sure that we can go there and we win the game. In terms of Villa and the team selection, he was asked about Aubameyang, and is he in a position to start? And he stated responding, well, he is available. He played a few minutes after 10 days of not doing much, and hopefully in the next 2 days he feels good and he's available to contribute to the team. But at the same time, he was asked about Pepe really seems to be in good form at the moment and what's been the key to that. And he's responded saying that even when we made the decision not to play him, that he kept working hard. He has improved in a lot of areas. He's been much more consistent through 90 minutes and he's a threat at the moment. He's been assisting players and he's been scoring goals. He's been a real threat. He needs to continue doing that. Also, he was asked about, is there a possibility that Pepe will be dropped for Aubameyang because he's your captain? Well, at the end, they have to play the players that are in the best form. Everybody has the right to play and participate in the games. That's what everybody is doing, pushing each other to play at that level. You can see that the level has been raised because everyone is playing at their best, and there's still room for improvement. So everybody has to keep pushing. So the latest regarding Mikel Arteta's press conference, he's talked about major problems such as Matt Ryan, Kieran Tierney, and the game against Aston Villa, and David Luiz's appeal. So hopefully you guys learned a lot from this press conference. Make sure you guys leave what you think in the comments below. But stay tuned for the next video. Remain blessed and peace.